Onegaishimasu. Okay, let's start with Zazen. Turning your attention inward, notice your body, notice its structure. Pay particular close attention to the spine and its alignment. Allow it to be long and open. Imagine little spaces between the vertebrae, including in the neck. So consciously include the neck with the line of the spine. We're releasing the shoulders so they sit straight down. Consciously releasing the abdomen. Breathe in, let the abdomen feel as if it's inflating, filling with breath. Breathe out, the abdomen sinks back as if it's emptying of breath. And softly looking forward and down. Noticing the body, noticing the breath, noticing your energy and how you feel. Let the out-breath take away accumulated tension. Let the in-breath bring in fresh vitality, fresh energy. Good. Rub the hands together. Imagine, feel you're charging them up. And rub the fingertips as well. And take those energized hands and lightly rub over the face, jaw, cheeks, forehead, around the eyes. Give some good energy to the face. And resting the hands heavy. Let the arms dangle. And turn at the waist. And let the arms be very, very soft. So you're not doing it with the arms. Turning the waist. Arms are just loose ropes. And winding down on the lap, roll the shoulders. Roll the other way. And Minuchi to the front corners, keeping the arms open and long, so not shortening, not coming in. As long as you can make those arms without locking the elbow joints. And rotating at the pelvis. Your attention goes to the front corner, then shoot the attention to the other front corner. Good. And then soft fists, a little bit of space in the fists. So it's not hard and heavy, soft open fists. And lightly tapping top of the shoulder, down the arm, up the inside, down the outside, including the hand. Other side, top of the shoulder, down the outside of the arm, up the inside. As you breathe nice and full in the abdomen. This wakes up the nervous system. It's a self-acupressure treatment. Ribs, upper chest, hips, back of the hips. You don't want to hit your kidneys. Those are some of the bones of the hips. Thighs. Good, slowly coming up. And knees a little bit bent, we'll continue. Forward stance, one leg forward, tap up and down the leg. You can also use open hands or softly shaped fists. You can use your legs, not your lower back, to come up and down. Nice, good breathing. And other side. Not using your legs. Again, wrapping arms around you. Do a little bit on the neck as well, either your fingertips or again, soft fists. If you ever want to help yourself energize, re-energize during the day when you're feeling a little bit, you're slumping, your energy is dropping during the day, fingertips tapping the skull. It's a very effective acupressure treatment all over the skull. And you can do your face as well, around the orbital sockets, cheeks, jaw. And drop the arms with gravity. Shake the arms. Breathe in through the nose, breathe out through the mouth. 3 drops, straight down with the gravity. Now we're going to elongate this part here for a moment. So just breathe comfortably. I'm going to work on this rocking down through the whole body. So if I'm tight and stiff, the vibration stops here. So as part of this is developing a relaxation and a unification of the body. So once I start to relax and connect everything, the vibration of the hands works through the whole body, and just the vibrating of your hands, shaking of your hands can rock your heels on the floor. You don't do that muscularly. That's just a relaxation, coordination, unification process. So the whole body is affected, whole body is connected. And then dropping on the out breath. In through the nose, breathing out through the mouth. Letting gravity take the arms, make sure the knees are bent a fair bit, and we do some hip turns to swing those arms. So right now the feet are shoulder width, so there's no weight shift, just right here in the center. How much can you release the shoulders and arms? Also the belly, release the abdomen. Take a little wider, light horse stance, bend those knees, you can add a weight shift. So we're training ourselves to use the lower body. Upper body is just going for the ride. Training ourselves to release and relax. Release those joints, shoulder joints, elbow joints, all the joints. Training ourselves to use the ground, not our upper body. Press into the ground. Let the ground support you. Let the ground do the work for you. Our work is to align ourselves, have awareness and intention, and let natural forces do a lot of the work for us. Gravity, momentum, what we call the ground force. Pressing down, the ground force comes up the body. And we can use that force rather than the small little individual, small little protoplasm body doing all this work in this big space. I can connect to a bigger space. I can connect to the whole thing, including the earth. Join with those larger forces and larger realities and connect and join with them. And so we're participating together, and more I can rely on those natural forces that have been there much longer than I have. The other, so that's basic weight shift and hip turn here. Shifting the weight and turning the hips in the same direction. The alternate hip turn is we turn the hips in the opposite direction of the weight shift. Or in other words, you're turning your hips to the empty leg. Once you get the sense of that, same quality, same principles. I don't want to be doing it from upper body. I don't want to be tightening. I want to be releasing and opening, using the ground to send me. And release down. Or in the beginning, you can think of pressing down, pushing down to send you. We don't want to be throwing our mass around. We don't want to be throwing our upper body around. People do that in technique as well, right? When learning technique, they throw their mass around, they throw their upper body, they're using their arms, using their upper body. It's very disorganized, disintegrated. It's not a good form. So that happens in technique too, right? So our warm-ups are actually deep training. And everything we do in the warm-ups or initial part of the class actually is all training for what we do in our techniques. and hopefully, ideally, what we do in our regular activities, everything we do. Long stance forward, we can have a vertical arm swing. So this is very close to doing Minucci, but this is still just an arm swing. So just letting everything relax and release. Use the ground for your mobilization. Release the abdomen. And the stronger you release down, the stronger you press down, the more vibrant your weight shift and the bigger the arm swings. And can you stay just as soft and relaxed and open when the swings become very big? You can press down quite vibrantly or release down completely. You generate a lot of power, and that's power that you're borrowing from something much larger than yourself. Switching. So when I do a technique, I'm just combining, coordinating power within my body, power in the larger system. I'm borrowing all that, joining with all that, so you can have much more integrity and power and effect, much more than just one single body would normally have. How much can you release and press down? How much can you let go? Be soft and open. And gradually winding down, still nice and vertical, weight falling through the hips and legs. Okay, let's go through the white belt program fairly expediently. That will be part of our warm-up as well. Okay, so Funakoki Endo, all those principles apply. I don't want to lean, don't want to throw my body mass around. Hanging out, I use the ground. Funakoki Endo. My arms are shot out from my hips or my core because of the pressing down. It's not my arms doing it, it's not my upper body. Pressing down the front leg, snaps everything back. If you have more experience, you can work on getting a bit more of a wave or an arc coming underneath their power and down. So this is very much like a wave cresting, crashing on the shoreline. That wave comes up their spine, your partner's spine, or up even behind them, crashes down to your base. All the physical work in the lower body. Give more and more of the work over to the ground. Then with the Tenkai, take your time. Make sure your Tenkai is clean, aligned, integrated, so that you're not off balance when you're turning. Take your time to get everything connected and integrated. You bring in the principle we've touched upon a couple classes where the mind leads the body. The mind leads the body. So those of you who have more experience, that's where you're training more and more. Your body starts to know the physical shape, physical movement, and the training moves to a deeper level, more energetic level of mind. So the mind is moving the body. And that principle we've touched upon related to that is already there. So if that's something that you've been exposed to or you're familiar with, that's more and more really what you're working on and where you're working from. You're already there. You're already there. And your body then is moved effortlessly for you. The work is on the level of mind and intention, and the body is just swept up in that current. The body is moved for you. Okay, Minucci is forward and back. Let's turn sideways so you can see full extension without locking the joints, not leaning. So a lot of times people think they're not leaning, but they have a forward angle. And it could be coming from a good reason, a strong forward attitude, perhaps, strong forward flow, and that's going to tend to cause this shape. So you want to refine that, keep that strong forward flow of intention, but physically hips under the head. In other words, you're still aligning and joining with gravity, not deviating from gravity. You're staying pristine and composed, staying aligned with natural forces and not deviating from natural forces to try to make something happen. More interested in being aligned with the larger forces, aligned with what is. And then you can add that tenkai. Notice if you might be bobbing up and down. So you want to keep those knees bent. Coordinate your breathing. I won't even necessarily say you breathe out here, breathe in there. You see if you can find a coordination that's more important than breathing out the right place. Just joining mind, breath, and body together. So I'll let you kind of explore that. Find a unity and integration, mind, breath, and body. Excellent. So Hami no Kamai, ready stance. So that's a slight forward stance. If this is right halfway, 50%, it's just a bit forward. 60-40. Make sure that back heel doesn't pop off because you're a little bit forward. And the weight is not forward because you're angling forward. Simply choosing, have the weight slightly forward. Good extension, roll those elbows forward. More experienced people, you know that rolling the elbows forward sits the shoulders. Just like holding a Jo or holding a Vulcan, rolling the elbows forward raises the tip, raises your fingertips, and seats the shoulders. And then we switch on me without bobbing up and down. Back foot comes first. So let's do this together. Height. 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 Okay, we'll just stop for a moment. Again, those of you that are more familiar with this, employ the mind level, the mind body, by moving yourself inside first, moving your energy body first, or already there. And your body is swept up. Your intentional current makes your body shape. Your intentional current makes the movement. Your body is a passive vessel. In Eastern arts, it's called an empty vessel. So when you switch, you're doing it in your feeling with your will, your intention. Let your body be swept up by the flow of your intention. Height. 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 Good. Now, could everybody just turn sideways for a few repetitions so I can get a thorough look? Okay. Height. 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 And then Breton, just have a little bit more extension. So arms even a little bit further out. Imagine you're holding a sword and you want to touch them before they touch you. So way out there, almost just before locking your elbows and raising your shoulders, just before that point, way out there. Height. Height. Move your mind, move your feeling. Height. 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 Okay, now I'm going to mention another thing, just triggered by a little bit of what I'm seeing. Those of you that have heard this, or certainly if you've done this more than a couple times, this feeling and idea and reality of being equal. So I'm seeing even with more experienced people, a bit of a forward lean. Again, that could be coming from a very positive reason, strong flow. So now, even that out or equalize that. So you're flowing, you're equally aware there's a mirror image of you. Your doppelganger is right flush against your back. You're this way and you're this way. So the energy is going in all directions. Right now, if you want, you can just think of two directions. You're flowing back just as much as you're flowing forward. So as you switch here, have a sense that it's working both front and back. So if you have room in your brain to work that, definitely consciously want to work that. Height. 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 Yes, that really made a difference, actually. Visually, I can see that. Okay, so we'll briefly go over the footwork. Yurimi Sugieshi. Again, more experienced people, you can work on that mental level of training. Move your mind, your spirit first. Your body swept up by the flow of your intention, or the quality and feeling of already there. So you spark it. You spark your intention, you're already there. Then your body moves. Yurimi Sugieshi, so left leg forward. That's offline with front foot, slight turn. We're going to stay in a forward stance at this level. Each. Knee. Son. Sheet. Go. Okay, so Breton, it looks like you might be doing a different footwork. Looks like you might be doing the next footwork, which is Amiyashi. Sugieshi is the front foot coming offline. Front foot moves first. Front foot moves over. Front foot comes offline, a slight turn. Also, again, experienced people, hanging from the string is helpful, or the hips are always hanging, or your weight's always falling freely through your hips and legs. Help keep you vertical. From there, you emanate. I'm there, my body moves there. But keep this pristine shape, pristine vessel. Okay? Each. Knee. San. Sheet. That's right, Breton. That's right. Go. Okay, let's do the other side. So Migi. Migi Hanmi, right leg forward. Take a moment just to get everything set up. Vertical, but slightly forward. Roll those elbows. Pull down the shoulders. Extend forward. So more experienced people, when I do the count, when I do the signal, the verbal signal, you decide when to spark your intention. You decide, bang, already there. So my count is simply a signal for you to decide when to go. As opposed to blindly or passively, each knee, you just follow passively the verbal signal. The verbal signal is for when you to decide to spark. So you're engaging and activating your spirit, your intention, and that training up already there. You're initiating that. Each. Knee. San. Sheet. Go. That's right, Breton. Try to keep your hands even further out. Extended, elbows almost straight. We definitely don't want them straight, but almost. Big extension. Roke. Seat. Touch. Good. I'm going to come towards the camera. I'm going to try to scare you. I'm going to try to make it so you have to get offline. So you have to kind of play that in yourself, make it real. It's a train coming or something, something real, so that you have to engage as much of yourself as you can. So something's coming and you have to make it real inside yourself. Then it becomes really good training. So let's go back to left side forward, Hidari. And when I come towards the camera, come offline. And that small little turn allows you to still be engaged with me coming in. That's it. Yes. We'll change the speed a little bit. Excellent. Let's do the other side. So Migi Hanmi. That's right. Excellent. Okay, let's do now Ayumiyashi. So we just did Irimi Sugiyashi. Now Irimi Ayumiyashi. That's the back foot moving first. Now if we start with the right leg forward. So the back leg, left leg's going to come up offline. Right leg comes back 45 degrees. And we stay in the forward leg slightly without leaning forward. Okay, so each. Knee. Let the weight drop vertically, release your abdomen. San. Shi. That's right, Breton. Get those hands out there. Go. That's it. Rope. Okay. Ready? I'm coming to the camera. Same direction, same movement. Okay, Hidari, left side forward. Right foot comes offline. Left foot comes back, turn a little bit. The weight will stay in the right leg at the end. Forward stance. Each. Knee. San. Shi. Try to equalize yourself forward and back. Go. Roke. Okay, something's coming your way. Okay. Tenkai. We've actually technically done Tenkai already when we did Funiko Gendo and Minuchi both ways, both directions. So this is simply changing our Hanmi. Shifting back, turn on the heel, shifting forward. Shifting back, turn on the heel, shifting forward. So from front stance to front stance, your hands simply change with your center line. Okay, so we'll do one turn on each count. One pivot on each count. Each. Ni. San. Shi. Okay. Now again, more experienced people. Now, if I illustrate here for a moment, I think with this particular drill, there's going to be a real tendency to have maybe a bit of a forward shape here because we have, I think it's because we have all this momentum. We have this momentum. And again, our mind is hopefully feeding our body. Our body will be shaped by our mind. And if we have this physical momentum, that might bring us into this forward shape. So you'll need to counter that physically by bringing your hips underneath your head, but even more importantly, by the intention and feeling of being equal. So when I switch, I'm actually just a very, very, very fine vertical axis around which I pivot or turn, just like a revolving door. A revolving door turns on a very tight axis. It doesn't, a good revolving door doesn't wobble. If it wobbles, it's broken. And it's not going to last much longer. So we don't want to wobble. And of course, physically and martially, that makes us open and vulnerable. Also, off balance. So like a revolving door, you have a very, very, very fine vertical axis right down through your center, and you're simply rotating on that. You just happen to have this shape. So it's just me just turning around this axis. But we have a little bit of foot movement, and we have this shape here. But it's the same as just rotating finely and sharply around that axis. So watch out if you're being kind of thrown forward a little bit. If you are, physically drop your hips, keep your hips under your head, and think of a very sharp vertical axis. Okay, here we go. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ro, sich, hach. Good. So that's tenkai. Tenkai is pivot. Tenkan is actually a turn. So that's going to be the front leg thrown behind you, 180 degrees. Again, watch out. There's going to be a real tendency to counter lever here. The counter lever with your upper body. So try to stay vertical. Now, what happens is that vertical axis moves forward down through that front hip. Right down through the front hip. That's now that vertical axis. That's now the axis I'm turning around. It's not, the vertical axis isn't always down your center line. It depends on the movement, what we're doing. If it's down my center line, then this is a turning. But now it's down this side of the body. So that's why I can do this turn and stay vertical. So the hands simply stay out. Watch out for that counter levering. Just turn around that vertical axis right down through the front hip. And especially for beginners, that front leg, you want to do a little bit of that turn on that front ball of the foot to protect the knee. If you're not sure what I mean by that, let me know now. Unmute yourself and ask me, because that's important if you're newer. So you're protecting the knee, perhaps even the ankle. So a little turn on the front foot and then turn around that axis. So let's do a turn for each count. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Okay, good. Now try a few more, senpai. Try a few more with the concept of already there, where your mind and spirit has already turned. So when I do the verbal count, the verbal signal, you choose to send your will, your intention. You're already there. Let your body be swept up and moved for you. Ich, ni, san, shi, go. Good. Now let's switch on me. So the other leg is forward. Let the weight fall freely through the hips and legs. Stay vertical. The mind leads the body. Ich, ni, san, shi, go, ro, sich, hach. Good. Tenkan undo. Tenkan means turning. Undo means exercise or drill. So what we just did is tenkan. This is basic tenkan. Back leg goes back. That's tenkan. Tenkan undo just means turning exercise. So just a variation on that. That's going to be, first of all, 90 degrees. Staying vertical. So left foot forward. The right foot comes up. Left foot comes back at 90 degrees. Now, if you're newer, this movement is exactly same as Ayumi Ashi. It is Ayumi Ashi, but instead of going 45 degrees, I'm now going 90 degrees. So it's just Ayumi Ashi footwork, but now instead of 45 degrees, I'm just turning a little bit further, 90 degrees. So I start by facing the front wall, and then at the finish, I'm facing the side wall. For this level, the weight stays forward, and whatever leg is forward, that leg switches. So it's always forward in that leg, that's forward. Weight slightly into that front leg. And for this level, we're not slide stepping, right? So the right leg, back leg comes up, left foot around, weight stays in that front right leg, slight forward stance. And we're going to do Minucci as we do this. So more experienced people, you guys know the dynamics. Pushing up that back foot drives that upward arc. As that foot settles back in position, that draws the hands down through the bottom arc. Big as arc as you can make. So let's do there and back as one count. Again, more experienced people, if you have the brain space to include this, you're already there. Mind leads the body. Each. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Ro. Seach. Hach. Okay. So we may or may not have time to finish with Misogi and a bow out. If not, please do your own bow out as if we're still in class, because I want to get to the last technique in Breton's program, which is the same movement, but now 180 degrees. Then we've completely gone through the white belt program for Breton, and we've gotten some good review. So right leg forward, the back leg, left leg comes up, right leg comes back as we do the Minucci. Okay, weight stays in the forward leg. So there and back for one count each. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Ro. Good, okay. Vertically aligned, weight settled, breathing in through the nose, expanding out from the belly. Breathe out through the mouth, settling back to the center. Mind, breath, and body. Expanding out mentally, breathe in, body follows. Come back to home base mentally, breathe out. Good, let's bow out. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Thank you very much.